Hi everyone, and welcome to our final Local Hero webinar of 2018. This webinar will last around 20 minutes or so, and I'm happy to take anyone's questions at the end. I'll also be copying a link to the webinar on YouTube so people can watch it back later if they'd like, or show it to anyone else. So today what we're going to be going through is how to be a fundraiser for your own charity or group. With Local Hero, an annual competition that we run for fundraisers just around the corner, we thought it would be good to give an overview of how people closely associated with our charities and groups could take part, so that if they haven't recruited a fundraiser yet, they could lead by example and start themselves. So what we're going to go through today will be a brief overview of Local Hero 2018, how the competition works and how you can take part. We'll go through how to set up a fundraising page, how to fundraise for your own group. We'll talk about the different benefits that fundraising for a group you're closely connected with has. I'll give you some examples of what other volunteers and staff members have done for their charities. I'll talk through some of our top tips on our fundraising resources. And then at the end, I'll talk about what you could do after the campaign. So to begin, why are we all here? Well, Local Giving is running our annual Local Hero campaign beginning on the 1st of April. The way this competition works is every active fundraising page that is set up during the month of April is automatically enrolled in a competition that we run called Local Hero, where fundraisers compete not to see who can raise the most money, but to see who can get the most individuals to donate to their page during the month of April. So as your fundraisers are raising money online, they're also taking part in this competition where we count how many people they can get to donate to them. The winner will receive £1,000, and we've got runners-up prizes ranging from £500 for the 2nd to 5th place to £200 for the next 4, down to £100 prizes for the people who finish 11th to 20th. So we've got a live leaderboard of all the fundraisers that are active during April. It sort of looks like the football league table. You can keep a track of where you are in the competition. What we usually have people do is tweet out things like, if I get 5 more donations, I'll be in 1st place and I can win that £1,000 prize. The winner from last year was Adam Curtis, who ran a marathon for his local PTA. He raised over £2,000 for the Russell School and won that extra £1,000 of prize money. Just for a bit of indication as to how other people got on, the people that were winning sort of £100 prizes around 19th, 20th place, they were getting somewhere between 40 and 60 people to donate to them, so quite realistic. Adam, the winner, got 261 unique donors, which is quite a lot of people, but I think also quite achievable and quite realistic for a group to get with a well-run campaign. So in terms of setting up a fundraiser page, this is a group that are live on Local Giving at the moment called Livestock. For you to set up a fundraiser page for them and take part, all you have to do is click on that orange Fundraise for Us button. Once you set up your page, you'll appear as a drop-down on the main charity's account. One thing to note for people who are considering fundraising for their own charity, use your personal email address when you create this page. If you try to log in as the charity with the email you normally use to log into Local Giving, it might send you back to the start. So if you are the charity admin for a Local Giving member, just use a personal email address or another email address for that Fundraise for Us button. So why would you fundraise for your own charity? Well, one thing, it enables you to learn about fundraising before reaching out to other ones, so you can see how you get on, how it works, what works well and what doesn't work well, so that you can go on then and pass on the knowledge to other people that want to fundraise for you. And because you're so closely connected with your group, it really makes you a great ambassador. You know the ins and outs of how the organization works, so you're able to coherently and confidently tell people about why it is that you need funding. Obviously, you're taking fundraising activities into your own hands. You're not relying on anyone, you're doing it yourself, and you're really showing that initiative. It's a really good way to engage trustees or other members of staff, so if you can kind of highlight you going the sort of extra mile and doing this on the side in addition to your normal duties, it really can encourage trustees and staff members to say, okay, I'm gonna help out, I'm gonna lead by example too. And it's a good opportunity for you to see how your organization manages you. Once you set up the fundraiser page, you'll want to see what sort of engagement you get from other members of staff or other volunteers, the trustees maybe. So you'll be able to see what sort of support they offer you so that you know that if you have future fundraisers, this is what they can expect. And maybe there are areas that your charity could improve upon when it's supporting its fundraisers. So a couple of examples of really good, fundraiser pages that were set up by people quite closely connected to their charities. Anushka Yo, who works at Focus West London, which is an autistic school in West London, set up a new local giving page after coming to a training and decided to be the first fundraiser that the charity had. So she undertook a 24-hour digital detox challenge, really simple but effective campaign where she pledged to go 24 hours with no TV, internet, social media, and no phone. What we found was that after Anushka set it up and showed other people how easy it was to do it, we had over 10 other individuals go and set up local giving fundraiser pages. So Anushka led by example, and then other people got involved. In total, you can see she raised over £3,000, and she actually came in the top 5 of Local Hero last year and won an additional £500 prize from us. So yeah, in terms of how you go about doing it, well, the main thing to remember is that you're giving your organization a human face, so you're going to be the sort of ambassador for the cause. And if you're looking at what you could do, you can always do the tried and tested sort of marathons or sponsored head shaves, but why not challenge yourself to something new or something sort of outside the box to try and drive additional donations? If you're looking at other people that you could engage, like Anushka, after you've set one up, highlight the ability to run multiple fundraiser pages at the same time to other volunteers. Try and maybe build a team around you and lead by example by saying, like, I did this, I'm going to do it over the course of April. Does anyone else want to help? And double our chances of winning a prize during Local Hero. Another good example was Lucy, who was a volunteer for Bath Welcomes Refugees. She did a 100-mile cycle challenge and raised £2,060. I asked her for her to share some of her experiences being a fundraiser for this charity, and she said, I started volunteering with Bath Welcome Refugees almost a year ago, and she remembers sitting down with the refugee family and really being, being affected by the stories that they were telling her. And that was, an experience that really motivated her to not only help the charity as a volunteer, but to actively go out there and raise money to help them. And that's the sort of human story that only someone who has an experience working directly with the charity, like Lucy, would have. I'm sure every volunteer or staff member listening to this is aware of really touching case studies of who your charity helps and the amazing work that you do. So by becoming a fundraiser, you get that opportunity that Lucy had to really put it into your own words and talk about your own personal experiences as you become this new public face, this new ambassador for the charity. If you're thinking of coming up with ideas, we saw 2 good ideas there. One was a digital detox challenge, the one was a physical challenge of a 100-mile cycle. But just remember that with online fundraising, and particularly with individual fundraising challenges, you are completely unlimited in what you can turn into a fundraising idea. So we've had people do this, the typical sort of like cake sales, marathon runs, sponsored head shaves, sleep out nights for the homeless. But we've also had people take on a variety of really weird, wacky challenges, and sometimes these ones are the ones that get the most attention. A good example that everyone's probably familiar with was the ice bucket challenge a couple of years ago. That really got people's imagination. We've had people do knit-a-thons. We've had people pledge to be vegetarian for a month. We've had people go to work with their underwear outside their suit for the day. Anything to raise awareness for charity, and anything that effectively sort of captures the mood of your charity and turns it into sort of a fun experience that people want to be a part of. So you can do your tried and tested marathons, but remember that if you don't want to do something like that, you can turn almost anything into an online fundraising opportunity. Another good example of someone closely connected with a charity and local giving who took matters into their own hands was a volunteer at Primary Bereavement Service called Olwen, who also recruited her friend Stella, so led by example, and then got her friend Stella involved to do a 50 km walk along the Thames Path. Olwen said that many people have no one to talk to and hesitate to speak in order not to upset their family and friends, and that's where Primary Bereavement Service stepped in. And because she had that personal sort of knowledge of what the group does, she was a really great ambassador for them, raised over £2,000, and obviously had the help from her friend Stella. So again, that idea of setting it up, going with it, and then other people saying, I'm going to help you out too. Remember during the campaign to stick to a plan. So as a fundraiser, you'll need your own sort of micro fundraising plan about how you're going to go about it. I'd have a clear call to action. I would have a specific project or a need for funding that your charity has, and I'd fundraise around that. So rather than fundraising for the general costs of your organization, I would pick a particular project and talk about that project and the impact that it would have. Set yourself a realistic target. I'd recommend, if you're new to this, to maybe set a target of around £300 to £500. If you're a little bit more experienced with social media, with online fundraising, or you're just an experienced fundraiser in general, set a more ambitious target, maybe £1,000 or more. Remember that you'll need to promote your page. Your charity can promote the page for you, or you can promote them from your charity's account. But remember that most of the donations that come through individual fundraiser pages are the friends and family of the people doing the fundraising. So it's your own friends and family that I would really expect to make the donations. So make sure you're shouting about it on your own personal Twitter and Facebook pages and keeping people up to date. I'd really encourage you to have a plan around images or videos that you could use. So try and take photos of yourself training for the marathon, or if you're taking part in the challenge and it's kind of a funny, wacky sort of ice bucket challenge style event, make sure to post a video about it on Facebook or Twitter, and try and make it a sort of something that people can get involved with and that people can view on their social media timeline. So images and videos are really vital to that aspect of storytelling with online fundraising. Remember as well to thank your donors at the end of the campaign. I would thank them personally, so from your own friends and family, thank them from you as a fundraiser. But remember that as the charity, you should also send them an email from the charity. So maybe someone else in your organization can send it, but make sure that they're adequately thanked, both by you and by the charity. Remember that if you want to take part in Local Hero or just want some guides and help around online fundraising in general, Local Giving have a variety of resources that you can use on our resource page and when you log into your Local Giving account in our fundraising toolkit. Year-round, we've got social media resources and tips and guides around online fundraising, and when we run a campaign like Local Hero, we've got lots of social media resources you can use. So we've got some Twitter headers, Facebook headers, examples of a press release, examples for a newsletter, the sort of things that you need when you're promoting your campaign. They're already done. All you have to do is edit them and make them relevant to your charity, but it should be really quick and easy for you to use those resources. Remember that Local Hero is a social media friendly campaign, so it is the sort of campaign that you want to be shouting about on Twitter and Facebook, both from the charity's account and from your personal account. We've got lots of example tweets that you could use around supporting your fundraisers and thanking your fundraisers. That's from the charity's perspective. We also have loads around Facebook, so some example posts that you could put up if you're looking to inspire fundraisers, support your fundraisers, or thank your fundraisers at the end. And I would just remember that in general, something like Local Hero, the idea is that you want to build excitement on social media and you want people to be checking where you are on that leaderboard so that they can then go and help you out after they've made a donation by asking their friends and family to make a donation. I think Local Hero is really great because it's really inclusive as a campaign. Every donation, big or small, counts. A £5,000 donation is the same as a £2 donation. So what's really great is that in addition to asking people for money, you're asking people to donate so that you get that extra point. So, everyone can get involved and people can donate just £2 and help you get closer and closer to those prizes. In terms of what to do after the campaign, tell your story. Try and shout about your experience so that other people connected with your charity will want to do the same. I would send a case study to your trustees, make sure all your staff know what the outcomes were, all the volunteers, and just show supporters that this is something you did, this was you leading by example, and they can set up an online fundraising page for you too. I'd also Try and use your experience as a case study in funding applications if you can. This is the sort of thing that fundraisers really like to see. They like to see people showing the initiative and really getting out there into their community and asking people to donate towards the projects that you run. So today we covered an overview of Local Hero. We talked through the practicalities of setting up a fundraising page, some of the benefits of setting up a fundraising page for your own charity. We talked about some fundraising examples, some tips from Local Giving. I showed you a few interesting case studies of previous people who have fundraised for charities that they work with or volunteer with. And I talked briefly through what to do after the event. If anyone has any follow-up questions, please feel free to send an email to help@localgiving.org. You can also give us a call on 0300 111 2340. Thanks for coming along.